Hi, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jamie.
And this is Zack and Jamie Need to Know.
Okay, so this is our podcast, and this is the first episode. And the point is, we want to know stuff.
No, not want to. We need to. For instance, today's episode is about
a boat.
Yeah, well, it's a ship.
When I was on a ship one time, they said a boat is what goes on a ship. You can put a boat onto a ship.
Yes, lifeboats, not life ships. Lifeboats on a ship. Yes.
So a boat can go on a ship. So Boaty McBoatface is not a good name for a ship.
Yeah, and I do not believe that was the name of the ship. But first things first.
So all we know is there's a thing we want to talk about, which is the boat.
The Baltimore shipwreck.
That we feel like we've heard about.
For a while.
Now we don't know anything about it since then.
I've got no follow-up, but I need it. I need to know what's happening now.
And then we started talking about needing to know, but we were saving it for a podcast, which means we don't know the name of the ship.
Nope.
We don't know anything more than, what do you know?
Baltimore. Ship, hit bridge, power failure.
Weird power failure, too. Because, everybody saw the YouTube video, which we should probably include. We'll pull that up.
I don't know that it was weird. I mean...
No, because it went out 3 or 4 times in a weird succession. I did a lot of conspiracy theory studying.
I understand that, but I think your average conspiracy theorist doesn't understand how a ship's generator and backup systems work. And if those are coming up and then failing also, you're going to see little flashes. So from what I saw...
So weird, though.
I trust my eyes. I didn't see anything conspiracy theory-wise.
Let's watch it.
We could do that. Let's start there.
Okay.
Let's start with the basics. Here's what we know. What most of us all know.
Oh, we're going to find... There's a newly opened channel. That's good to know. We're going to get that information.
Okay, so that helps.
Okay, so this is the one, right?
Yes. Maybe we'll just full screen it. That's pretty... Okay.
Yeah, we can watch it.
So I see no power.
But
boom. Power. Yes. Nope. Doesn't last long, though. I don't believe.
Right. It just
They've
goes
got
off.
it. And I see lots and lots of black smoke come. Okay, lose power. Smoke. That doesn't look good to me. If I see a ship pouring black smoke, that doesn't look good. And then it's just free drifting. And if you can't turn the rudder very well because...
Like you're stuck.
Like you say, throttle steering, they don't have it. I think power came back on briefly right now. And then I think it goes dark one final... No, it hits. So, okay.
And it just smashes into this. And in the bridge, yes.
Yeah. So it hit a support, which is like the worst place. And then final power outage. So to me... This whole area, they see the bridge coming. They're trying to aim for this. And at the worst possible moment, they can't steer anymore. And they just cut it short. They almost made it through.
They tried to get past it, right?
Well, they were aiming for the big gap. That's where they're supposed to go.
Which makes, that's where they're supposed to go. No, really?
So there's that.
Okay, so there's a newly open channel now? Wait, what? Is that the thing? What's going on with the Baltimore ship crash?
I need to know the name first.
What to know?
Okay, the cargo ship was named Dali. I did know that. I had forgotten. But that's how long it's been since we've had any updates. Dali, cargo ship Dali, D-A-L-I.
Okay, the cargo ship was
That is familiar.
The Baltimore cargo ship was named Dali.
Okay, now let's see this newly opened channel. I think that answers one of the questions I had. The key bridge collapsed.
I'm just watching the...
Right. A significantly smaller ship is passing by. That's good. Let's start small. Good idea. So 4 weeks after, that was still going on. They just opened up a way around. Okay. So it took them a month to get...
They just went around it, basically.
Yeah, it took them a month to make a detour.
Okay, so now what?
So I guess now, well, that's what we're going to find out. We're going to find out where all of this is at now today.
Let's find it out.
The most recent stuff.
I'm ready to find it out.
So that answers that question of what happened, basically.
Okay.
Just for a refresher, we covered it.
Cargo ship ran into Baltimore.
Lost power, ran into the Francis Scott Key Bridge. The ship was named the Dali. Took the bridge out. Collapsed. There were workers, road workers, bridge workers maybe, working on the bridge at the time that the bridge collapsed. They died. Apparently
2 of them are still not found.
At that
point.
The video was...
Oh, yeah, we don't know if now. We need to figure out if everybody's...
It was 4 months ago.
Okay.
So we can find that out. All right, so we want to know about the workers.
Zach has a notepad.
I need to keep track of this because I get distracted. The workers, we want to know about what's going on with the bridge. We know that there was a detour opened up. And, yeah, I don't know what they're doing. I assume you could drive around that area via road already, so they probably just put up detour signs. They didn't have to create one.
So we need Baltimore shipwreck.
Yeah. Now here's some more stuff I need to know.
Update. Yeah. I feel like that would help us.
And we need to sort by most recent. May 16th, May 20th, May 20th, May 20th.
I mean, nobody's talked about this since May 20th.
This is the whole point of the video, because June I haven't 24th. Heard anything since it happened. So I need to know. Look. June 24th, that's what, 2 months ago now?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll open that in a new tab for now. May 20th. I don't remember how to sort in Google no more.
No, that was, okay. In May, the ship was headed to Norfolk. So they're going to repair this ship. They're going to still use the ship.
Bro, are we really not going to be able to get anything more recent than June 24th?
There's got to be more somewhere. Let's check like their Facebook. This might be part of it. We have to go digging.
Baltimore, hold on. Francis Scott Key collapse update. 1 day ago. Okay.
Okay, they're going to rebuild the bridge. Okay,
so this is going to be relevant. Let's go into that. So they are rebuilding the bridge. Okay, so here, this is 1 day ago was this article, August 30th. This appears to be yesterday status.
Yeah.
So they got the debris out. They did. It sounded like that other article said they moved this ship. So that was from June.
So that's totally moved. And they've okay.
So they've cleared.
Make it bigger. I want to.
Oh, this is June 11th. The picture's June 11th. Let's be clear. June 11th here.
Oh, so they had it clear by June 11th.
It'll be so nice when we have a Justin who's doing this real time for us while we're just talking through it. $73 million. Phase one. Oh. That's key. Phase one means it's
$1 billion project.
That is a piece of the pie. That might be the foundation and stuff. And then you may have somebody coming in later to clean up and do like other details.
I feel like you have weirdly knowledgeable how the project would work.
Most project management is very similar, whether it's construction or otherwise.
Right.
So yeah. Especially from my point of view, when I'm a planning and execution guy, I know how that's going to work. There's going to be more funding to come. $73 million doesn't sound like enough to get that done. Yeah. But it's enough to get going, which is important. So
how is money measured in millions now? What is even happening? When I was in like the 7th grade, we won the sign up of million tick marks, and it took up the entire hallway. Do you know how much a million is?
No.
It's so much.
I'd like to find out someday, but no.
So much.
So one thing about this, the picture's June 11th. They already had the debris out of the way, and that's like 2 months ago. They're like, if they just got the contract, depending on when their ATP is, which is like basically their green light to
$1.7 billion, funded by a combination of insurance proceeds, cash on hand, bond financing, litigation recoveries, and federal funds.
Phase one literally could just be
getting it built. I mean, $73 million is a lot of money to spend on planning. I feel like that feels like a lot of cash.
At $73 million is probably mostly going towards labor of planning the base. So wait, what it says right here?
Labor. You were right.
Upon successful completion of phase one, they'll have exclusive negotiating rights for the second phase, which includes final design and engineering as well as construction. So phase one, they're not even doing anything. That's all planning. That's all hiring. That's all getting their labor force and materials
outrageous.
Organized. I didn't know I'd be able to provide this insight.
$73 million to plan this?
That's not much. I
know, but like think about it. The scope of life.
$1.7 billion is a whole lot more accurate number for rebuilding a bridge. But the thing is, here's what I was going to touch on that I kind of got distracted by. Every day that bridge has been collapsed, they've been losing millions of dollars.
Right.
Because it was a major
how much do they lose?
Logistical shortcut
I want to know.
Through Baltimore. That's going to be tricky. Now you're going to have to use all of your Google foo.
Does Baltimore lose?
How much money?
The economic impacts of the Baltimore Bridge collapse are more than $10 billion.
Estimate. So what that tells me, if they're estimating, is there's no real way to know. But
that's a fake amount of money. When you're talking about in billions like that, that's a fake amount of money. It doesn't make any sense. So you can just say, if I say to you, the estimates are $10 billion, the estimates are $12 billion, that's the same amount of money. Too much.
I don't know if Google's going to do it if I use words in it. How many days is 6 months is about 180 days. It's been about 6 months to this point, we'll say.
Yeah.
That's a fair estimate. So let's find out. So we still haven't found a daily breakdown. Rebuild slated to begin in 2025, expected to open in fall 2028. So if the rebuild cost is 1.7 and they expect to lose 10 billion in this time frame, we'll just say 11.7 billion over the course of 3 years. This is not accurate information. Don't trust this. We're estimating because they're estimating. According to these calculations, they lose $10 million per day in that time span. That's not even counting however long it's already been. We're going to add like 300 days to account for the time it's been and the time between now and when they expect it to start. 8.3 million a day.
Yeah.
They're losing $8.3 million a day without this bridge. That's is so significant. If I made that in a lifetime, I'd probably be happy.
I mean, anyone would be happy making $8.3 million in a lifetime.
That's in a lifetime. They're losing that a day.
Like, who is they?
Bro, if you want to throw money away, I'll catch it.
I mean, no one's throwing money away.
They are.
They aren't. The bridge got ran into. No one's throwing the money away. They have no choice.
You know what's interesting is like insurance is going to pay out some for the ship, obviously. Probably some towards the bridge. Probably pay out to the victims' families that died. But the money lost from not having that as a transportation route, nobody's paying for that. That's what literally just right losing money. That's what I'm talking about. And that's the majority of it. That $10 billion is literally just being lost. Basically, when time is money and you're losing time, that's where that money's going.
Oh, this is literally just like, this is what we found. This website is an attorney helping people get money for this. Stated like,
okay, well, that explains why he's got his numbers all good.
But yeah, he announced on April 15th the city is taking legal steps to hold accountable the entities responsible.
You know what's interesting? That's a good segue into our next part where we find out what's going on with the bridge workers and families, and especially the ones that were missing as of 4 months ago.
Right. The two that are still missing.
Uh-huh. You got to see if they were found.
I want to know if they were found.
I do too. That's what we're here to find out. We need to know if they were found.
So business interruption. I mean, all this is literally like we might have to contact this attorney. That feels like not the man.
I'm not going to make a phone call while live on the podcast because that sounds like we have to get permissions and stuff. People care enough that they want to follow up that in depth. We can see what's happening on that side of things with the families involved.
So this is interesting because the bridge was 47 years old. See, like, are bridges built to last that long?
It depends on what kind of regular maintenance they're doing. However, if it's not closed down completely and touched up, I don't think it can be that effective. So, case in point, here in Colorado, actually, this is relevant. Out near Gunnison, where I went to school, Blue Mesa Reservoir is out there. They have a bridge going across the span of it. And like when I was in college, kids would jump off the bridge into the reservoir or whatever.
Is this the bridge they close sometimes?
They closed it now for a long time because they found cracks in the bridge. And now they have to go back and they have to fix it up.
But they open it for special occasions.
No, not anymore. This is not the same bridge. Whatever bridge you're thinking of, this is not that bridge.
All right. There's a bridge somewhere that they're like, this bridge is super broken.
Since we're here, since we got Google. Bridge? I don't know the name of it. It's not a major one, but Blue Mesa Reservoir Bridge. US 50 Blue Mesa update.
Nice.
So
this is what I like about Colorado, by the way, is you do get the information that you want.
It caused a 4-hour detour when it first happened.
Told you.
Okay.
The bridge turns on during holidays. How weird is this? This fucked up bridge, but they're like, you know what? Y'all can use it for Labor Day.
I'm no expert. I'm not an engineer, but if they address the major issues and then there's some other things they still want to touch up, but they're not.
I'm not getting on that bridge.
Well, I'm not either.
Nope.
And look at, they have a whole list. It doesn't look like they're allowing semis.
But they are allowing school buses.
But not a charter bus.
Okay.
You can't tow a fifth wheel camper. You can't do any.
See, this is unsafe.
Any Class A's, Class A motorhomes.
That says these things, I'm not interested in.
So that's the thing, though. This was the only bridge on Highway 50 to get across the reservoir, And it wasn't a major one. It's not even named.
Why don't we have a ferry?
Because it's a reservoir. It's not that big. But you just can't
We could
drive.
ferry the cars across.
So actually, fun fact, if this were in the wintertime, it wouldn't be an issue because people go ice fishing out there and park on the lake all the time.
Wait, so they would just, so once it gets icy, people are just going to drive across the lake?
I mean, they probably could. I mean, I wouldn't drive the middle, but they could drive close enough to the bridge area. The bridge is over a narrow little
Photo of this bridge?
We could look it up.
I want to see the bridge.
Blue Mesa Reservoir Bridge. If we could pull up my Facebook, I could show you a cliff jumping picture from there. So this is the bridge. Also, water levels are super low. Wasn't nobody jumping off this bridge in the water that low. It would have to be up where the rocks are and stuff. This is the bridge. It's nothing special, and it's not that long.
They created a 350-mile detour, and it adds 6 to 8 extra hours of travel time for motorists.
This is what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's not a big bridge, but it has a big impact.
Right.
People have to go all the way around. They're losing time. You're spending money on gas.
6 to 8 extra hours.
A crack in a support beam was what they found. So if they're opening it up temporarily for Labor Day to cross, they fixed that crack, but there's other stuff going on they haven't gotten to yet.
So they're just like, we guess the bridge can... I'm not stress testing the bridge for them. That's someone else's task.
So to your original point, are bridges meant to last that long?
No.
I don't think so. I think they need regular, heavy upkeep and maintenance.
Yeah.
And no offense, I'm not trying to knock this country. There's a lot of good about it. But the highways...
Road maintenance is not one of them.
And rail systems, and like everything seems a little bit outdated. Like we haven't kept up with it. Bridges are huge.
It's like
and
airplanes.
Major infrastructure.
Like when you get on an airplane and you're like, we're about to go in the sky, and this thing is from 1972.
I think our logistics and infrastructure could use a heavy overhaul. Elon, you want a new challenge, man?
You can't let him do it. He's crazy.
He's crazy, but crazy in the way that he's the only one who would try.
Then
Like
he's our
mad
overlord.
scientist.
I know,
Not my
but we can't let him
overlord.
be our overlord. Like, we're giving him too much power.
Nah, bro. The only way he's going to be an overlord is if he starts a colony on Mars, which he'll try to do. Or the moon. I guess he's sending people to the moon. You know what? If he really wanted to, or Bezos, they could go rescue those astronauts that are stuck up there.
We need to figure out what's going on with them. What's our plan here?
We didn't look up the family still. I need to know what happened to those 2 missing workers. So we're not done here.
Okay, we'll find out. But also, what's going on with those astronauts?
Yeah, the astronauts, that's another episode for sure.
I have a lot of questions. I need to know a lot of things. I'm actually curious what happened to the families.
Dali shipwreck, that's true. Dali shipwreck. Missing.
Wait, Dali's name was like A-L-I and not D-O-L-L-Y?
Yeah, it's not American.
This whole time, that's what I thought.
I don't think images is what I want.
No, we were in images earlier.
Body of last missing victim recovered from Baltimore.
In
Key,
May.
Francis Scott Key, May 7th. So, so
they did a good job there.
So how many victims total, I guess, is there? I guess I need to figure that out. Victims total. Stupid Apple, stop naming your stuff different.
What's it doing?
Delete is backspace. Backspace is delete between
Watching
PC and Apple.
Mac is fun.
No, it's
and
not.
It rhymes.
And I don't need to know how to use a Mac.
Now
so
you do right now.
Okay.
What do you mean you don't need to know? This is a moment in your life where you need to know how to use it.
Nah, not really. Worst case, if I just do it terribly, you'll take over because you'll get frustrated. Okay. So it looks like 6 was what they were projecting.
Oh, I trust the AP.
Presumed dead, but then 2 were missing and they found them.
Found them alive or dead? I'm sure dead.
They were missing a month afterwards.
So they were dead. Okay.
Unless they just started a new life.
In my mind, I just imagine, do you not remember when the miners went down and we saved them and everything? You know?
Yeah, that was like a week, not a month.
Yeah, I just always need there to be hope.
I mean, that'd be nice. He just swam up on shore somewhere, walks out of the water, shaking off like, hi, I'm Robert. What's up? I need a job.
Man, like, and he's like, Robert, we thought, it's like, don't they make movies about that kind of stuff? Look, it's as big as the Eiffel Tower. Well, not quite, but pretty close. I guess, like,
lengthwise.
The point of it, though.
So that makes sense why it's so hard to steer, and if it loses power, there's
no way
shit they could do. 10,000 metal shipping containers.
That makes it a ship.
And was carrying almost half that. 4,700 shipping containers on board at the time of the accident. That's going to add a lot of weight.
Right, and that's the thing, too. And shipping containers can have anything in them. Like, literally anything.
The world's largest can carry more than 24,000. Now I need to know what that looks like.
Yeah, can you find that for me?
What's the world's largest shipping container ship? The MSC Irina, 24,300.
How big is it?
Not as long as the Empire State Building. Oh my goodness. Baby got back.
That's so big.
Here's what it looks like empty.
Ugh, I don't like that. That makes me so uncomfortable. I wish we weren't. Change it. It's okay if a little part of it's empty.
Okay, so like this.
Yeah, but look how weird it looks when it's all in. Think about how spooky that is. That's spooky. Pirates.
Pirates is another question. That's going to take a while. I can't even begin to get into that. Because pirates are still happening, but it's changed a lot. I hear it's mostly about insurance.
Click that handy dandy diagram down there. I want to look at the diagram.
You like size comparisons.
I do love a good size comparison. So then, how big is our ship in comparison to like these ships?
I don't see. So it said 10,000.
Yeah, so that one, right?
It's kind of between this guy and this guy.
It's not
somewhere
like,
in here.
Okay, so it's a pretty big ship. It wasn't the biggest by far, but it was big. It was probably the same size as the Crazy Rich Asian ship that they have the bachelor party. Have you seen that movie?
I have not. I need to. I heard it's really, really good.
It's my favorite movie.
And then I need to see Everything Everywhere All at Once. Also.
I haven't seen that.
It's also really good and has a lot of same cast.
Yeah, I heard if you watch Crazy Rich Asians first, it's like weird mind fuck if you watch that and then watch the next one.
Crazy Rich Asians came out first, so I think most people saw it first.
I've watched it probably 900 times. It's like my comfort movie.
Okay, so we know what happened to the workers. We know what happened to the bridge. Now we need to go find out, because we opened a tab but never read it. We got to find out what's going on with the ship and the crew.
Yes.
I knew we were forgetting something.
Did the captain go down with the ship? Didn't something happen with the captain?
He probably got in trouble, but the ship didn't go down. So
he didn't go down.
He might have gone down with the ship as in like got in trouble.
I want to know. Hang
on. So the cargo ship that struck Key Bridge 3 months. So it was there for 3 months. But 11 crew members are still there. Why?
What are they doing?
They're in trouble.
No, they're not in trouble. They probably didn't get in trouble.
How the hell did it get towed? No, it set sail for repairs. So it left 11 behind, and the captain and
a replacement crew joined 4 members of the ship.
So it couldn't move. It was trapped for 8 weeks. That picture from June. Yeah, okay, no. We could still see it sitting there in that video we watched that dude doing updates.
What do they mean, though, when they're still working to get the remaining 11 crew members home as quickly as possible? They're being housed in Baltimore. You were right. They have to be there during the litigation. They're probably not in trouble. They just need them as a witness or something.
High-ranking members of the... Yeah, they're the high-ranking members of the ship, the ones who are getting in trouble. Officers... 10 are from India, 1 from Sri Lanka, depending. So Dali,
they get saved to the city for a year or more.
10 original crew cleared to leave on Friday.
Baltimore City is suing Singapore-based owners and managers,
alleging they were negligent and letting it leave without failing to fix the power issues.
Okay.
Wow, there you go.
Think that's so bad.
That's something. That would fall on the captain, I would believe, because he's supposed to. Pilot inspects the plane and then lets the ground crew know, hey, fix this. I would assume that's the same way it works.
So the damages to the ship is only $44 million.
Insurance is easily going to cover that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's for. Insurance, the bulk of it is if these lawsuits come out, insurance is going to be covering the company. Unless insurance doesn't cover the company, then the company's paying, but they probably have a ton of... Shipping is a lucrative industry, I would imagine.
I mean, yeah, but losing this much money has to be crazy.
That's true. All that cargo was super late, too. So it lost power for hours before leaving.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
That's bad.
Hold up. FBI is investigating and raided the ship in April. There's an FBI raid on the ship.
Let's go. Click that also investigating button right there.
It's definitely not Bodie McBoatface energy. This is Dali energy. Big Dali energy.
It just got interesting.
Yeah, so taking legal action. They're suing, but the FBI, malfunctioning cargo ship. Brandon Scott announced their partner to trial. Yeah, them law firms about to get paid. Hey, you want to sue? We got a case for you.
We got fun to do.
We got a case for you. Yeah.
I can't believe that one bridge in Colorado makes you have to go around 8 hours. That's a whole day. That's a work day.
And that bridge was tiny in comparison to this one. Absolutely tiny.
This bridge is destroying people's lives.
So, okay, so where do we get that? That's all they're saying about the FBI? They're not saying why?
Oh, because it's the FBI. So they're...
Here's the thing. The pending freight was over $1 million. Jeez.
Filing.
Technically, that is over $100 though, too.
Yeah, no, it's good for 100 doll hairs.
Doll hairs.
Scroll down. I want to see more. Is there more?
There we go. Didn't offer further. There's no other public information available. Okay. Well, they're being tight-lipped, so they're not saying. I guess they might have taken the opportunity to look for human trafficking. Might as well see what we find.
We just made that up, though. Like we're just guessing.
Yes, no, they might have taken that opportunity to look for human trafficking victims just because it ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
And why not? Which I would just note is a very good thing if so.
I mean, I want to solve that problem.
If they didn't, I'd actually be disappointed.
Examining the voyage data recorder and assessing the bridge's design. Nothing was wrong with the bridge, I feel like. Like, what did the bridge do wrong?
It was 47 years old, so you never know. Maybe it had some small cracks, too. That's kind of what my point was back earlier.
The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers led the salvage effort and prioritized clearing the Fort McHenry Channel to resume. Okay.
Yeah.
178 containers to refloat it. So they had to get the containers off of it in order to float it.
Well, they were probably stuck, tangled in the bridge debris, is what I would imagine.
I really like that we're doing this because I know a shit ton about this now. We're learning a lot about this situation. This feels really nice.
So these were the first 4 bodies recovered, and then they found the final 2 by May.
Right.
Repairing potholes, so they were trying to repair the road on the bridge.
And they passed.
Yeah, I would imagine so. That bridge was really high up. Plus, they may have landed on the ship and stuff.
Oh, God. I don't want to think.
That's the reality of it. And I think that's the end of the article.
That's really... Okay, so what do we know so far?
So we know almost everything about this, about where it stands now.
But what are we missing?
Lawsuits are happening. It's not the biggest ship in the world.
We know the biggest ship in the world.
Yeah, we found that out. That was just...
Yeah, I'm just saying we learned that today.
Nugget's not here, but it was a nugget.
It was a nugget of information. He only comes around when he wants to hang. That's the thing about Nugget. He chooses when a nugget of information will be released.
All right, so the Dali had power issues apparently before leaving port.
Okay.
Didn't know that. That seems really important.
That seems really important to me.
Still left port.
Have we looked into the bridge? We don't know if the bridge was sound. Like structurally sound. We just guessed based on the fact that we know our bridge is shitty. We never actually figured out if the bridge was structurally sound.
So we could go into that, but to me, in this instance, with what happened, almost feels like victim blaming. Because if the people wouldn't have hit the bridge, it wouldn't have mattered.
It's true. So we don't care if the bridge was structurally sound.
And to be fair, that's a big-ass, heavy-ass ship. I don't think many bridges, no matter how sound,
I don't think the bridge has a chance in that moment.
If you hit a support, if it had gone under and was too tall and clipped it, think more damage to the ship.
The
hitting
support,
the support,
though, took the whole bridge. Remember how it just like went whoosh?
Yeah, it was...
It was like a toothpick.
So, looking at the bridge, let's go. I'll just pull up a picture real quick. Okay. So, this big area where things usually pass through is the very middle of the bridge.
That's the only place.
Took out one of these.
So, yeah, I mean, structurally, it's in the worst possible place it could be, I guess. I mean, I don't know.
This is probably the one that it was took out, and that's in the middle of the river. That's the worst one to hit. One of those 2 that are the first, these 2 in this picture, those first 2 right
bigger,
there,
right?
Those are probably the most important, because if you hit one of these, you might lose a section.
Yeah, so if you hit back there, you're going to lose
You lose 2 sections. You lose the end of the bridge, and then
but those
this
supports
stays.
were the most supportive.
You hit one of these, and then it folded in the middle, and just
yeah.
So
that makes sense. Okay.
It was a perfect storm of what they hit.
From everything that I know about science and physics, I understand what happened.
Well, yeah, for sure. But where you get into the problem is that if they knew there was an issue while they were in port and they still let it leave, or still made it leave,
if it was But
That's
then,
why the lawsuit's valid. I would say
I
they'll
say
get
it's a
into
valid
that.
lawsuit.
We might have to follow up and see what happens with that. Somebody's getting paid though, if prove that
It
negligence.
looked like everybody was getting paid from that one law firm website we found where there were cars going across the bridge.
They haven't mentioned any of that.
Oh no, maybe not. No,
I think the
there were.
cars on the bridge were the work vehicles because it was the middle of the night or whatever, or super early morning.
I thought
Hold
there were
on.
cars going across the bridge.
Were cars on the Francis Scott Key Bridge upon collapse? You like that terminology?
So they thought nobody was in the vehicles, but actually, though, that's the two workers because they were on a break and they were hanging out in their cars when it collapsed.
So it seems like it was just the workers.
Those were the people. Okay, so maybe it was closed.
Bro, how lucky? It's possible, but how lucky if it wasn't?
Do you remember that earthquake that collapsed the bridge?
There was the Minneapolis bridge collapse. People were on that one.
No, San Francisco. It was during a World Series. Or something.
Let's find out. I do not remember that. I remember
maybe not San Francisco, but in California.
There was definitely an earthquake during a baseball game. Yeah, the San Francisco Oakland Bay Bridge was also damaged when a span of the top deck collapsed.
Yes, that's the one.
But that was in 1989. So that was before I was born. So they better have been updated / heavily maintenance since then, because that's what I'm getting at.
I remember that day. Like it was like on the news.
I don't remember that day. I was in the womb still. I was about 6 months conceived.
I was alive. I was in middle school.
Yeah, the San Andreas Fault, the biggest fault line in America.
There was a baseball game that day, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
With the Oakland A's.
Yeah, good on you.
Look at me knowing things. Okay, but I'm weirdly scared of bridges collapsing. Obviously not that weird.
So this is wholly unrelated. Earthquakes are super interesting. We could do another episode on earthquakes that affect more than just bridges. I love earthquakes. I love science. Earthquakes are some humongous forces at work that
I'm actually the author of a science experiment book.
For kids?
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's fair.
It doesn't matter if it's for kids or adults, it's still science.
Science is science.
Yeah.
But I figured you
I'll link
more
it in the comments.
Children's author. Yeah, if you'd like to get a hold of that science experiment
101
book.
Kids Simple Science Experiments.
Yeah, cool. So, if that's what you're into or what your kids are into.
Science, turns out.
I'm not going to lie. If you can give me a free copy for kiddo, I would appreciate it. I don't think I have anything else I wonder about this
I feel
bridge.
like we've learned about the boat.
Definitely not Bodie McBoatface energy. Although the fact that was a thing.
What was Bodie McBoatface?
I feel like it was a contest. So that's all I'm looking up right now. This is just bonus. So I remember when this happened. This is almost just going on 10 years ago. British government agency to let the internet suggest a name for a almost $300 million ship.
Oh.
Seemed like a good idea until it became the RRS Bodie McBoatface.
I pick it. Wait, did they end up naming it Bodie McBoatface?
I'm pretty sure they did not.
I thought they did.
Let's find out.
I apologize. So this was just some guy fucking around and he accidentally did this. I'm so sorry. I want to know now if they named it. This was in 2019. Wow, this was pre the vid.
They crashed the polling website. I'm pretty sure they didn't actually.
Did they name the boat Bodie McBoatface? I need to know.
What did I type? Motherfucking boat face.
Yeah, boat. They named the boat.
They named it Sir David Attenborough, a more dignified title than the public's choice of Bodie McBoatface.
You know what? They should have left that. They should have gone with Bodie McBoatface.
Hold up, that poll was from 2016. This wasn't until September 2019. It took 3 years for them
fix
to.
it. Yeah, they were worried. It was a thing, right?
Look at this though. Rooters, even still said
Bodie McBoatface was the boat.
Maybe that's what it was for the first few years.
So it was in 2016, and this thing got christened
okay.
when?
In 2019.
Is that normal?
Maybe they announced it was going to start being built.
As the consolation prize, the name Bodie McBoatface was instead given to a small yellow autonomous underwater vehicle. That's a disappointment. That's not Bodie McBoatface.
It is my immense privilege and relief to welcome Sir David Attenborough rather than Bodie McBoatface to speak.
Maybe they do have it.
You know what? That's more fitting, but at the same time,
I would have named it Bodie McBoatface. What would you have named the boat?
I mean, I'm a fan of give the people what they want.
That's what I'm saying.
Bodie McBoatface was popular choice.
All right.
Bodie McBoatface it is. I hope they learned as much as we did. I learned a lot, actually. Legit.
No, stop. I learned tons. Way more than I thought I was going to learn. And I feel like now I have knowledge I could use at the bar.
So, Colorado reference, because this is where we live. I had all the peaks of information. I had the big things. But I had to fill in the ridge line.
What's a ridge line?
So, a ridge line is basically if you see one mountain peak and then you see another mountain peak.
Like outside.
Yeah, like in the mountains.
That's the ridge.
If you were going to walk from one peak to another peak, the easiest path that you would probably take would just be to stay in elevation and just walk sideways. That would be a ridge line.
Okay. Have you ever been on a ridge line?
Several times, yeah.
I want to go on a ridge line. How do I get there?
I think for us, we'd have to go up the summit of Pikes Peak. Which, not for nothing, we should take the Cog Railway sometime because I've never done that.
Oh, it's really fun.
But I don't have the money right now. So
We got to take kids. It's really fun.
Well, we covered what we knew at first. Then we covered what we needed to know. And then we dug in and actually filled that in. I feel like I'm pretty satisfied.
We just kind of wanted to know.
We found some extra stuff that we wanted to know.
And we're going to watch Crazy Rich Asians.
At some point. Still probably more likely to do that than watch Avatar. I ain't even going to lie. Just saying. The show, not the movies. I've seen the movies. Okay. My attention span fits movies better. Let me just watch 1 2-hour movie, 2.5-hour movie, get it over with. But them shows is 8-hour, 10-hour seasons, and I'd be getting burnt out. So I think we found out what we need to know. Connected the dots. We started with what we already knew, which admittedly doesn't seem like much in the grand scheme of things now.
I know, right? I thought I knew a lot about this, but I didn't know anything about this. And there was some conspiracy, and now there is some blame, and there's going to be a trial, which is kind of cool.
Again, I feel conspiracy is a loose term there. It's more just
negligence,
which is in this
negligence
case
based in conspiracy.
Not necessarily. So in this case, it's pretty cut and dry. They had $1 million cargo sitting on their ship. That
they needed to get it.
They need to get it somewhere because they don't get paid till it gets to where it needs to go. So again, power problems cause delays. Delays cause money, and logistics and shipping, time is money. So it's very logical that they would rush thinking that they got it all figured out, and they really didn't. And
yeah, no, I believe that.
You know, how many times do we be doing something on the computer? You be doing an update or installing something. You think you got it figured out. I do this all the time, actually. I'll be modding. You're supposed to do it one by one so you know if it works or not. But I'll install 5 mods at a time. Then when something breaks, I don't know which of the 5.
One mod at a time.
Yeah, I don't know which of the 5 it is. So then I gotta go one by one anyway and troubleshoot. So that's kind of, they thought it was good and it wasn't good. And they were like, let go, we losing money. And then they were like, oh shit, we can't steer. Bang. Oh, no, we done fucked up.
That's probably how it went.
And then.
That's probably exactly how, you know what, this is the best description of that video. On that note, have a nice day and watch out for the big yellow chicken.
I don't get that.